Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Audio Star Production Discussion Group. And today we have film producer, filmmaker, music supervisor, George Ohan, right here with us today. And we're going to talk about a bunch of things in the music world and film industry. And how are we doing today there, George?
Dude, I am loving life. I'm here in Puerto Rico via Hollywood, Los Angeles, and we got the guy across the street with the trimmer nonstop. We got the chickens and roosters over here nonstop, and that's my environment right now. So my creativity is flowing with trimmers and roosters, but I appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. Should be about 1 hour or less, but we're gonna hit a lot of really important subjects for musicians, especially independent music people, music recording artists. And this is just, it's a master's degree level of information, and it will take them a lot of years to accumulate this type of knowledge. So thank you for making this available to the indie artists out here.
Absolutely, bro. And so what's the name of your film company that you have going?
Fulton Film Company. And Fulton Film Company started out as a physical location, and now basically it's the umbrella, and I use it as a lead generation tool to gain leads for other filmmakers. So I keep the name and the brand Fulton Film Company alive, and there might be somebody in another area, and if they're trying to pitch for themselves, like, hey, it's just Joey or George or Kevin or whoever trying to make you a sale, you're like, I don't know, but you say, hey, I'm George from Fulton Film Company. You have a brand to stand behind. And so that's what we've been doing, is like connecting independent contractors, independent filmmakers, to have a brand that they can introduce to their clients so they can close more deals. And that's what the film company has kind of become, is kind of like the parent company for gaining leads for independent filmmakers.
And while you are doing all this, what kind of film productions have you been doing with Fulton Film Company? I remember you were doing something with the was it Navy or Army kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of veteran-based content. We're working with Brothers at War. It's a resilience training workshop, and a lot of the stuff was digital content, small business, working on music videos for hire, crew, contracting, for crew. Anywhere in the film industry kind of operates the same way, whether you're on a huge Hollywood film down to an independent film, you kind of still have the same rank structure. So that's where we had to start to choose and decide, if are we going to work as a crew member, are we going to produce our own content, or are we going to rent studio space and become like a studio? Mm-hmm. And we just kind of went down the path of a for-hire producer, for-hire filmmaker, and going down the path of being for-hire filmmaker, got a lot more gigs, got a lot more work, because we would jump from editing a project to working as a cinematographer, to working as a producer, to working as a unit production manager. So it was always keeping the party going, and it actually upped the experience level of the company doing it that way.
Now, before we jump into all these music questions and film questions, I have one question I'd like to ask you. Now, there's all these different seminar kind of like events that film producers go to, and as a music artist, as one to become, one question we have going on that we're going to be talking about as a licensed music artist, what program would you think would be the most valuable for these artists to get out there and go and meet these supervisors firsthand, shake their hand, make that connection? Because, you and I believe in that a nexus connection, where you meet them in person, you're talking, and you're keeping that good network going. So what program would you got all these events that you guys, I've seen you go to.
Go to the one that costs you the least at first, because you're using those events to get better at going to events. Okay? Mm-hmm. You can't just show up to Cannes, France, to the south of France, the French Riviera, and that's your first event you've ever been to in your life ever. You know, you can, but you might be doing yourself a little disservice. If you go to 15 to 20 mixers, music events, you start to really learn the landscape. You start to really learn how to call bullshit much quicker. You start to really understand who you should talk to, who you should avoid within that setting. It's like speed dating if you're at an event like that. You're in there very quickly. You're trying to figure out, unless you've set specifically an appointment to meet somebody there because of the relationship you've built with them online. So go to events near your home, go to a lot of them, understand how to get really good at going to events. And when you do that, pay to go to an event. The paid events is where you're going to make your good contact that you really need. Now, I'm not saying you won't make your contacts at a free event, but that contact that you think you should meet, you deserve to meet, yeah, you're right. You should meet them, you deserve to meet them, but you got to pay for it. Simple.
Right. And
So
maybe you're not ready at that time.
You got to pay for it. If you're ready to pay, you're at the level to meet that person, because that person is at a level in their life where they're at events where people got to pay to meet them. So who the hell are you? You can't bypass that step, because you're going to become one of those people that people are paying to meet because you have a certain level of knowledge. I mean, I know people that, Bruce Gordon, he's been paying for events for 25 years. The guy has more knowledge than anybody who I know in for screenwriting, for Hollywood producing, for filmmaking. He's met the top people. His film made it to the Cannes Film Festival. And he still has to pay for events, but if you talk to him now, you're going to pay to talk to him. He's got over $50,000 invested in his just conferences and events. Yeah, you got to pay a couple $100 consultation fee if you want to talk to him for an hour or two, of course. So you definitely should be happy to invest in yourself. Don't be like, oh, what the hell? I got to pay to go there? Like, dude.
Now,
if you're
off the top of your head, what are some ones in your local area that you were from in California that you could say that were free, that you could tell people to go to? And
in Hollywood, I recommend Hollywood Shorts, ran by Kimberly Browning, right there, Hollywood Boulevard area. And Hollywood Shorts is awesome. I've met a lot of really, really great filmmakers there, and people doing features, people doing TV series, the real deal people. But guess what? Everyone has a dream. Everyone's a filmmaker. Everyone has a passion, and they make some pretty badass short films. And as a music person, you want to be there. This is where you're actually making a connection, because this guy doesn't have money really to get his short film project going, even though he's a Hollywood filmmaker working over here on other real projects, but that's their own thing over here. So this is where you can have a real relationship with somebody doing things in LA. And so Hollywood Shorts, I would recommend. In Fresno, there's a couple of different little organizations. CMAC, it's the Community Media Collaborative there. The Fresno Filmmakers Alliance. Like I said, you have to be able to show up. You have to be able to call bullshit very quickly. And you have to try to really have a directed focus point of who are you there to meet? What type of information are you seeking? What do you need? Are you seeking funding for your next project? Do you just want to build crew? Are you trying to introduce yourself? Are you what's the point? What's the point? Before you show up to that event, what's the point? So Fresno Filmmakers Alliance, they have a once-a-month meeting. CMAC has a once-a-month meeting. You could join this community collaborative for like $25, I think $50. And for the whole year, they let you use their equipment and put your locally produced show on their cable channel. So a lot of great value out there. A lot of great value. Just Google your own little neighborhood. You're going to find stuff.
I found one that around here is called Source Oregon. Right here.
Awesome. What is that?
This is a magazine they go over about. I've been going through, and they have a bunch of film, different projects going on. And in the back of it, what I think is really cool, is they got all the people who are close in the area of Oregon, right, listed that you can find to shoot your project if you live in Oregon.
Dude, if you have not shot every single one of those people an email or sent them a little card in the mail, paid for the postage, shame on you.
I'm working on that right now. I mean, I've contacted a lot of these music supervisors already, and and sent them to Audio Star Productions, and you know, that's the kind of stuff that I've been trying to look at too, and that's why I'm reaching out to George Ohan, because you know George, he's over there in Puerto Rico right now, and he might need some jungle music that sounds like it's rock electronic, and he needs that little 30-second clip that's going to go, here's the intro, you know, he might need that.
And Audio Star Productions, Weston Simonis might be the guy producing it, because you're the guy reaching out to me, keeping up that relationship. Right. And that's just real shit. That's just as real as it gets. It's like, that's what it comes down to, is which human relationships are you valuing? Which people are you showing that you're interested in what they're doing and what they have going on? Who are you showing interest for? You have to keep up the social part of social media. Social media is like, it's a trick. You're like, well, because I'm on social media, I'm social. No, dude, you have to really be social. And if that's hard for you, just be upfront in an email. Explain that to people and be like, hey, if I'm not on social media, don't judge me on that. Social media is really difficult for me, but I'm a good person, and I'd like to get to know you more. Do you have any links or anything, any information you want to share about yourself? I'd love to investigate it further. Then they get it, like, okay, he's not a weirdo. He's just like, he's not good with the social stuff. He's coming clean, so I'm not mad at him. And he's like, hey, dude, still show me your stuff, and we could create a little relationship right here on email on a different platform. So you're getting them and bringing them back over to where you're comfortable at.
Right. So we were talking about music earlier, and who buys music? It's
a phenomenal question, Weston. It's okay. I love this question. This question annoys me, and I love this question for different reasons. When a music artist comes to me and they're talking about their brand and they're talking about promotion and digital marketing and video and content, everything, and they're giving me their fake numbers that they've invented in their mind of how much music they're going to sell, I ask them, I look them straight in the face and I say, hey, when was the last time you purchased music? You yourself, personally. When was the last time you gave another artist money? When did you give them money for their music? And a lot of times it's like, they get this whole, yeah, I got to really think about like when I actually downloaded a song and paid the 99 cents, whatever, right? And I'm like, they have artists like hip hop artists like Drake, and people are streaming his music for free, and they're not paying him money for it.
But he's getting paid for that.
He's getting paid for it, but it's not in the sense that the artist we're dealing with, the new indie recording artist, is thinking how they're going to get paid for their music. So however I have to learn how to explain that, however you have to learn how to explain that, we have to change that mindset really quickly, because the people who we're dealing with right now still in 2019, which is a mistake, still think they're going to be getting paid per song, like $1.50, $1. Like they're thinking they're going to sell each song to each customer, but that's not how it works. Streaming is where it's at. The streaming game is where.
Hey, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because here, listen to this. CD is way out. CD is so far out. It's kind of like not even worth buying. But I bought
maybe not in all markets though.
Not all markets, but I've seen it where like I got thousands of copies of my CD sitting in my deal, and I go to concerts and I play. And I try to, and I can't even hand this out for free, because they're like, I don't even listen to it on that. Just keep that. And I'm
I
like,
don't have a CD player, right?
Right. They're like, I just listened to it on my phone. You know, they get it all. So I get these people who are like, I look you up on YouTube and I hit play on YouTube. I look you up on Spotify and I hit play on Spotify. I go to iTunes and I hit play on iTunes, and that's where I listen to you. And I'm like, right on. So, you know, but I feel like the only people who are really truly buying music these days are the people who want to license your music. The film companies, the video game companies, the people who are trying to use your music for their entertainment, because they have to have that music, or I mean,
I'll go with that. I'll green light that. I'll agree with that. As a film producer, as somebody, a music supervisor who has purchased music for projects, then yeah, definitely that is an absolute lane that a music recording artist or a company, a DJ, anybody who's creating music, a producer, if you're going to go after that niche market, you have to start looking for independent film producers. You have to start looking for music publishers. You have to figure out who is the person that puts music into movies. Who is the person who chooses the music that goes into commercials? Who is the person that chooses that music? And that's your target market to really try to attack and sell your content to.
No, we were talking on, we'll get back to that topic here in a little bit. We were to keep forward on this independent artist kind of thing. So we were talking about distribution earlier, and
yes.
Distribution. There's a lot of different distribution companies out there, and you can pick whatever one you like the best. You were suggesting one today that is actually really recommended.
I would love to bring up DistroKid, DistroKid, distrokid.com. And Weston, I'm sure you'll post a link here in the description of the video somewhere where people can find them, correct? Okay, and I mean, as a music artist, what DistroKid is doing for you is bananas, dude. I mean, 10 years ago,
fairly cheap too.
What's that?
$20 for the year, unlimited uploads.
Bro, $30 for the year, I believe. $50 for the whole.
They lowered it right here on their site. It says $19.99.
Okay, so that's the sign-up fee, and then it's like I think $30 for a whole album. $10 for a single, or like, you know, but the prices are dirtbag cheap. They're so low.
No, they uploaded it. It just update. It must be a new update because it says pay only $19.99 to upload unlimited albums and songs for the year.
The information just changed, and I've been on that, and it's like, this is right now 2019 April. Like it's awesome. They're getting better and better and better, but you would have had to pay somebody close to $15,000 for them to achieve what DistroKid is doing for you for, like, let's say $100 extra. You know, there's going to be little upsells. You know, there's going to be little ancillary products, little add-ons. By the time
I know that TuneCore, when you go to load music, because I got music on TuneCore.
Another great platform. They
charge you per the album, per the single, per the EP, per I think ringtone. You can get your song put as a ringtone on there. But everything is charged per upload.
Well, you know, that's a thing. You know, great point. If you are in the market right now and you're like, are these guys giving me a gem? Dude, life alert, key alert, major key alert right here. If you're an indie artist, you're an indie music person, and you're like, how the hell do I distribute my music? Look no further, okay? Weston just told you TuneCore is what he's using. DistroKid is what I told you about, and then you can even compare it with Mondo Tunes. Tell me about that right there, Weston.
Yeah, I use Mondo Tunes too. I use that. I got my music video that George Ohan helped me with. In fact, he has video of himself on my own phone, walking around with my phone, interviewing people for the video. Remember that, George?
That's behind the scenes, very valuable content, my friend.
He took my phone. He's like, I got to do all this. So anyways, after we shot the music video and got it all finished, I submitted it to Mondo Tunes, and they're a little pricey, but they got it on VEVO. VEVO is a big company to be on.
Huge platform.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different companies out there that will promise you VEVO, but you pay them money, and then boom, you're not on VEVO. And then they're like, they'll tell you something like, well, your production thing, and I'm like, this production is better than the one that's in black and white right here. Why is this not on? Because they didn't make that connection. They don't have that connection, and you can, like, this is where we're talking about calling out that BS again. Mondo Tunes doesn't have that BS because they're with Universal Records.
Mm-hmm.
Big right there.
So that's another thing people should understand. They're like, so what? I could be on YouTube. Why do I need to be on VEVO? If you're trying to book a live show, if you're trying to gain a more serious followership, if you're trying to wow maybe a booking manager or a venue owner, and you're trying to go next level with something, a pitch, and somebody's checking out your links and you send them this VEVO link, it does mean a little something more. Is that right?
It does. And VEVO also pays out higher royalties than YouTube. YouTube is one of the worst royalty payment I've seen. Them with Spotify, 0.00.
So with YouTube, it's more of like the promotional kind of teaser content, and with VEVO, that's when, hey, this is my finished, polished work. This is where I'm going to try to earn my money on the actual content.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, like I could get like 25 cents off of 25 viewers on VEVO versus YouTube. I could get 25
views to get 25 cents.
I get like 100 views and I'm still not at 25 cents.
Right.
So there's your difference right there between VEVO and then there's some other platforms out there when you get your music on there you want to pay attention to, like I believe that what is that one? There's that one famous rap artist owns Deezer. That's the name of that one. That one pays out very well, and I believe that the company that actually started the streaming download kind of deal, Napster, is one of the highest paying distribution streaming sites there is.
Stick to VEVO, kids. Let's start easy. just well, he's on in there.
Napster's just where you stream your music, kind of like.
What's the difference between distribution and copyright? I create a song. Somebody gave me a beat, or I got the beat on the internet, or I bought the beat. Like, what is copyright? What is distribution? Is there a difference between the two?
Oh, there's quite a bit of difference between the distribution.
What's the basic Barney level breakdown? What's the difference?
Well,
why do I need both?
You need both because someone can go listen to your song and then turn around and write one that sounds almost identical to it, and then now your song is their song. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're not copywriting it and taking the right steps to copyright it, then you can't do anything about it. But it does start with the moment you write it down and put it on pen and paper and record it in your computer. But you need to back it up with other things by sending it into copyright things. Now, the old way is to send it to copyright.gov, but they're quite expensive. Now, George did some research and found this new...
Tell us about SongGuard.
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 Yeah, I was looking this over today, and this is very valuable because it says right here $3.95 per song, right?
That's cheap.
That's less than $5 for the song. I know if you went to copyright.gov, it would be anywhere. Once you open up a registration with copyright.gov, it's $40 off the bat.
Plus, trying to figure out how to do it. Like figuring out all the paperwork, the type of copyright, all of it. There's just so much, there's so much to try to figure out how to do. And if you're like, dude, I need a form of protecting myself quickly and very cheap, there is a way. There's apps, there's websites, there's songguard.com right there. You can just go check it out. I mean, there is something for you right now. Don't feel completely naked of like, I don't want to just put my stuff out there. If you want to put your stuff out there and sign up for one of these things, DistroKid, Mondo Tunes, TuneCore, whatever it is, you could do that. Plus, you could get it copywritten, and you could just be in the game starting in a week from now. You don't have to see so many people with hard drives full of music because they don't know this part. They don't know the copyright and the distribution. They're missing those two things. So they just hang on to a hard drive full of 30, 40 songs.
And the hard part about that is, don't be afraid to get that music out there. Don't be afraid to do it, but get it copyrighted. The first copyright is...
Don't be afraid. Are you talking about don't be so emotionally attached to it? What are you talking about?
Don't be so emotionally attached to it, because if you stick yourself in the closet to say, hey, it's not ready yet. Hey, if you're to the point where you're trying to be so perfect, but it's slightly imperfect, don't worry about it. Because, you know, if you don't have it out there, then no one's ever going to hear it. Even if it's slightly imperfect, it's still...
Yeah, somebody will like it. If it's good and it has a few flaws in it, who gives a shit? But
right.
If it's good, it's good. Like, nobody's going to fault you on those few flaws. They're going to be like, dude, that was fucking good.
Right. They're gonna love it.
Process. You got to trust the process. You got to let it go out there. You got to let the market speak. You got to let your audience find itself. You got to find your audience with, like, okay, these people like these sounds. I like that. I'm gonna do more of that. I like these people. They're responding well to what I'm creating.
Right. And go with the people that love you on that part. So when you got that copyright thing and you're going into that copyright, remember your first copyright is when you write it down and then you recorded it. And you have that data saved inside your computer. The next one is opportunities like SoundGuard. You know, you register it with SoundGuard. Then the next one after that is your PRO. All right.
PRO?
Yeah.
Is that like ASCAP and BMI? What's PRO stand for?
That's what that is. That's your performance rights organization. So they're going to go, and every time your song gets played on radio, every time your song gets played on TV.
If I'm a music recording artist, do I need a PRO number? Do I need to register with the PRO? What's the process of that?
You definitely need to register with the PRO, because the fact that who are they going to know who to chase that song being played back? Everything right now.
The PRO is putting metadata, like computerized information, digital data in my song, so when it plays, they know how to pay me through the royalties.
Yes, and everything will be waveform. So when you look at, like, when you go to like SoundCloud, right, and you see that waveform of that song, and you can see the songs of that waveform, that is the print of that song now. Every time that song is played, and it could be in the background of this video right now, and that song's being played. These new
fingerprint.
These new fingerprints. Yeah. These new computer bots are going around listening to things on YouTube, listening to things on Netflix, listening to things on Facebook. They've got that all monetized now.
Making a match. They're making a match. Okay, that song was there. Boom, that much royalty needs to go there.
Boom, right? Now, if you are not registered with a PRO, I'm registered with BMI. BMI is great. It's free.
There's no way to pay you. There's no way for money to reach back to you.
And I actually made a video to find your IPI number, your CAE IPI number, and I'll drop that down in the link so you can go watch that here in the Audio Star Production YouTube. And
dude, that is so valuable. That is information that will take you 2.5 years to research, look for. I have a degree in entertainment business from Los Angeles. They did not teach that. And Weston made a free video for you. This is master's degree level information. You're getting it for free. He's going to drop you a link. Do yourself a favor. Get your stuff registered. Protect your music. Make some money.
Right. And then the next thing we were talking about is licensing. We've talked about this throughout this video many times. Now, when you want to license...
Wait, before becoming a licensed songwriter, do I go somewhere? If I'm like, hey, I'm a songwriter, how do I get a license to be a songwriter? What does that mean?
Becoming a licensed songwriter, you need to start writing music that fits the needs of the music people that want to license your music. Now, if George Ohan needs music for a film tomorrow, and he says, hey, I need this kind of music for my film, and I send him the wrong kind of music, do you think George is going to come back to me? Did I fit George's needs? I did not fit George's needs as a music supervisor, so my music did not get licensed. So you've got to fit the needs of the music industry. So George, if he's asking me for polka hip hop, I need to find out how to play polka, and I need to find out how to write hip hop, and I need to get it to him as soon as possible. And soon as possible could be a few days, a week. You know, you got to get that out.
Hours.
Yeah. Well, a few hours could be kind of difficult, but you know, when it's coming to creation, maybe a day. I've seen it where I wrote a song. I wrote a song in 3 hours. Maybe it was a 30-second cue.
The licensing part of it is, am I giving you money and you're giving me your song so I could keep it? What does that mean to be licensed? What's that transaction look like?
There's multiple different situations on licensing. So you have that situation where you get the upfront sync fees, and then there's ones where they don't have the upfront sync fees. Then there's the ones where it's royalty free. So the royalty free one, I'm not really a big fan of royalty free because, well, usually they pay a cheaper price. And then it is what it is. What did I just say it was? Royalty free, right? But it still pays out. Now the upfront sync fee ones are great because they send you this big check. Boom, right? Say your song's worth, this is kind of over drastic. Say your song's worth $10,000. George pays me $10,000. But more realistic, it could be maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand for the song, right? And then he can use that, depending on the price of what he's going to use that song for, is the more it's going to be paid for. And he's going to buy this song and he's going to use it on everything he does. He owns this song. He can use it for so long on this contract. And in an exclusive.
So is that the licensing of the music? Is that what it is? Where I, as a producer, I'm going to pay you $500, but it's my song. I own the music. I own the lyrics. I own everything. I could sell the song. I could do whatever I want. This is my song. This is not your project anymore. It's mine now.
Yep, it's yours now because you own it in the contract that you wrote. So depending on what on the contract, the more you want to own this song, the bigger the price of the contract is and the price that you're buying.
Right, and this is where you can include television, film, web, commercial use, all kinds of stuff like that.
You could even distribute it yourself on iTunes or whatever you wanted on a compilation CD, and then you're going to pay me the back end royalties, and you're going to keep the publishing royalties because you published it. So you're going to make money off of it, and I'm going to make money off of it. So there's
like a lot of people don't even realize, like, they could just reach out to Weston Simonis, pay him $1,000 and have a Weston Simonis song created and be like, here, you own the song. You can try to sell that same song for the next 30 years. Go ahead, big guy. It's your song. And the more popular that song gets, you don't get any royalties or anything from it, but you get the popularity of, hey, that's a Weston Simonis song.
Now we'll move on to the next one, the no sync fee up front, but royalties. So George is looking for something. He has a small project, and it's going to be used on something small like on Facebook, where it's not going to get a bunch of views, but it's going to get something that's going to at least stream a little bit of royalties on it.
Huge, like Facebook.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to go huge on Facebook, whatever it's going to do, then he's going to go, hey, I need something. This is what I'm looking for. We're going to go viral with it on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. It's going to pay royalties. Then I'm going to give him the song, and he's going to register it with that number that I gave you with the PRO. You got to have all that information with it.
Copyright, everything.
I'm going to send that to you, and then you're going to just, register that video with that song in it to the PRO. So you'll go through a platform, and I'll be making I haven't made a video on registration on BMI yet, but I'll do that. It's not that too difficult. It's pretty easy.
Also on how you could sign up to be an artist on BMI, quick video on that process.
I'll be doing a video on that in here soon. That's on my to-do list. And George and I will talk about that in another video. So you got to have that set up and play. Now, where can you put your music to get it licensed is at music libraries. Music libraries are the people that will go pitch it to people like George. They'll be like, hey, George, we noticed you are looking for this kind of music. Here's our music library. This is what is available in the music that you want to license, and look at it that way.
So that's a good point. Is like a lot of production companies, a lot of music supervisors are so busy. There's so much music. There's so many scenes that require music that they're not going to meet with every independent producer that says, hey, look at my library. Can you listen to every look at this soundbite? I got everything.
Right.
No, they're going to wait. If it comes from a legitimate source, like a music library owner or a music publisher, then they know that you've actually passed a few hurdles and you've made it to that point. And if it's coming from them, they're a big reputable company. They're not going to make themselves look stupid by presenting the wrong songs to these people, to their clients. So if you have something funky, something fresh, and it's hard for you to sell it because you don't know how to sell music, you don't know how to get it to that point, you have to find a publisher, you got to find somebody with a library, and you got to get it listed in there because they do the legwork of getting the music in front of the people, the end user who's actually submitting it in the project and the video content or wherever else they're going to use this.
And the next step for you to get your music licensed after you've gone to music libraries and you've wrote exclusive contracts and non-exclusive contracts. And let me explain that real quick before we jump to the next one. Exclusive means I write this song for George. George gets all rights to this song. I cannot go distribute it on iTunes. I cannot put it on Facebook. I cannot do anything with it. George owns all rights to it.
Yeah, you can't, even if you have a really, really fresh hook to it, you can't use that hook somewhere else.
No. And don't be scared about exclusive contracts because exclusive can pay way more than non-exclusive.
It earns loyalty much quicker too, because you're like, yeah, it's a job. I'm a contractor. I got it done. I'm creative. I can create a new song every day if I wanted. Here you go. Give me my $1,000 or give me my whatever. Remember, this is for independent artists who are new in the game, who are just now selling music, they're figuring out how can I earn an income. We're trying to get you to the point where you have a sustainable living wage just from your music. So not everybody could just jump in the game and start making tens of thousands of dollars. You got to figure out to get from hundreds to 500s to thousands to finally start getting into the hustle. So you got to really start to learn where's your price points, who pays for what, how can you sell it? Like this is about selling music.
Right. And so if Coca-Cola calls you up tomorrow and says, hey, I need you to write a song for me, an exclusive song, you cannot take that song and you cannot do anything with it because Coca-Cola owns it. And that's what we're talking about.
They're going to pay because that's Coca-Cola. That's a great phone call.
Right, right. That's why we're talking about exclusive. So non-exclusive, so there's all the songs that you upload as a music artist on your distribution, on your Facebook, on your YouTube, on all that kind of stuff. You can load that in a non-exclusive library. But here is the thing that I want to tell you about these non-exclusive. Once you've uploaded it into one, leave it at that one library. Do not take it and go to try to put it in a bunch of other ones. What problem is now is because we talked about that digital fingerprint of that wave, right? Now that digital fingerprint's going, hey, this library says they own the publishing rights to this song here, so we need to pay this library. Oh wait, it's in this library. Oh wait, it's in this library. Oh wait,
you're fighting yourself.
And then you're so spread out with all that that they don't know who to pay. And now guess what? Your song is being done. Gone, not used.
Okay, real quick, great point. Back to DistroKid. What I liked about that is, let's say the producer makes the beat
Right.
You got the song on DistroKid right there. When you're originally loading in the song, you can say 30% goes to Weston, 70 to George. You could do your distro right there. So when that thing receives its royalty, already distribution happens with nobody getting involved. That's amazing.
And you got to do that with your PRO too.
That's great, dude. Like musicians are so lucky this is set up this way. This used to be so expensive. This used to be, it would take attorneys weeks and weeks and weeks to get all this stuff correct. Now it's just a few clicks of a button, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of like reading and taking it easy and figuring out how to do it. I mean, dude, musicians, you're in such a great position right now in this day and age.
Absolutely are, you know. And then we were talking more on, we went from library to, okay, I had another topic.
DIY, we haven't got to that.
I had one more license thing I was going to cover, but, you know, brain fart, let's move on. All right. So we got the DIY about filming today. And George was going to cover on a few things. I think we were talking about lighting and screenwriting, right?
Let's talk about just a basic filmmaker process. Music people, make friends with independent filmmakers. There's a lot of film students everywhere across the whole world. If there's an editor who lives in Los Angeles and you happen to live in Oregon and you make a relationship with him on Facebook, you could send him your footage and he could edit your music video.
Right.
We live in this like George Jetson's futuristic kind of time where you could send clips of video to people who are very, very far away and they could edit you what you need. If somebody's really, really hot shit with Photoshop and they're in Georgia, they can create stuff for you and send it to you. Like music people need to make friends with filmmakers. That's the first part. The second part is you have to know the rules before you want to break the rules. And a lot of time in film and cinematography and everything, music people like to have this creative shot idea, but it's like, it doesn't work because the people who speak cinematic language know how stupid that shot is. Mm-hmm. The people who understand cinematic language are like, you know why that's fucking dumb? And there's like 10 reasons. You don't want your audience going there. It's not just smart people. The people who don't speak cinematic language are like, I didn't like that. They're going to say I didn't like that. They don't know why they didn't like it, but it's because it didn't meet certain criteria of the cinematic language that has taken over 100 years to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And you're violating those rules. So like, for instance, right now, my shot where you're looking at me, you see this little thing right here? There's no depth of field. It just stops there. It's a flat. It's two-dimensional. Where you're looking at me, it's just two-dimensional. You look at Weston, that's beautiful. That's perfect use of space right there. It's 3D. There's a foreground, there's a midground, and there's a background. So the foreground is my subject. It's Weston. The midground will be the guitar right there. And then the background is the speaker or the other guitars or the red pillow way back there. See, so you've taken a flat 2D screen, which is the computer, and it looks like it goes in there. When you look at Weston shots, like, wow, that's a nice deep area. I'm looking in there. You made it 3D. That's a great setup. For me, it's 2D, it's flat. It's like, it's boring. Boring as shit. But a lot of people are like, I'm going to hold my guitar right here. I'm going to go right against the wall. And I'm like, oh, my fucking shit. It's like, sometimes you have to trust the process. Sometimes you got to get out of your own head and let the filmmaker take over and do his thing. And a lot of times you need to just go and find what you like somewhere else, get that picture, save it to your phone, get those images, get those 20 or 30 images, break it down to 5 images that you just you love, because it tells your story, like it tells who you are. It really resonates with like the image you're trying to build for yourself, and choose those images and just try to recreate them. If you get like a professional photographer or an amateur photographer shot that just really speaks to you, that you love, if you tried your fucking hardest, if you tried your damnedest, you will not be able to recreate it. a lot of people can recreate certain shots because they're like obsessed with, like, you know, doing it. But I'm just saying, if you just generally, you're not going to go buy the same exact shirt. You're not going to generally find the exact same background, but you're the same concept. You could create that. And it's okay to be inspired from other people's work if it's helping you tell your story. Like, that's the reason that creative person created what they did and put it out there, is to keep that inspiration thing going, keep that creativity going for somebody else. And if it's you, that's a blessing, you know, accept that creativity, roll with it. Okay. That's how you DIY better shots. You see people who have done something that you like and you just try to recreate it.
Right.
You use people who are doing this, who love doing this, who love holding a camera, and everyone's like, but everyone wants money. Well, yeah, dude, once you want that fucking really professional shot and you want the whatever, you got to pay somebody, because take yourself a little bit seriously. But not everybody. I can find 5 or 10 people at any given moment that just bought their camera or just like trying to really do something. You need to be more interesting. You need to put together an interesting pitch, an interesting idea. You need to entice somebody to come work for you. Why should they take your photos? Why should they take your videos? Something that's done for thousands of dollars for somebody else. Why should they do it for free for you? Why don't you create a pitch? Why don't you make it sound sexy? Why don't you actually make it seem worth my while? Like, okay, so in the future, you're saying if you make t-shirts, I can get a cut of that money until I make like $500. Okay, like, work something out, come up with something creative.
And, you know, don't be afraid to save up some money and invest it in there so you don't have to do that. Because most of the time, a lot of people out these days are going to say, well, I don't have the time to do this all free right now because I got to pay my bills tomorrow. Right?
Yep.
I mean, as a licensed songwriter, if George came out with me with something saying, hey, I need this, you know, and pitch that same thing with me, I would take it, because you know, I'm going to get the royalties off of it, and it's going to come and we'll have some kind of contract. But make sure you have a contract with that if you're going to go with that kind of thing.
Yeah, nobody's your buddy, nobody's your friend, and it's nothing personal. It's just keeping honest people honest.
Yeah.
Hey, remember you said that was 50%? No, it's 70-30. No, you said 50. It's like that will never be a discussion, because you have one piece of paper with 2 signatures on it.
You got to have that contract in play, because I mean, it would keep George honest, it'd keep me honest, and I'd be like, hey, you know, I wrote this song for you, George, but hey, you know, we negotiate 50-50. You know what? I need part of your publishing royalties that you're getting, because 50% is not enough because you didn't pay me up front enough. But we agreed 50%, but I'm saying 75, just like he just said, you know. And then George's like, what? And I'm calling up BMI going, hey, you know, George and I agreed on 75. 75, he got 25. But it says 50-50 on here. What's going on with this? We got to change this. And you know what they're going to say? Where's the contract? Where's the contract?
This stuff could get very confusing. This stuff could get like really, really boring for a lot of music artists. But if you need help with this, you contact Audio Star Productions, you contact Weston. He has a lot of experience doing this. He's been doing this for years, not only for himself, but for other artists. And it's okay to bring in a consultant. It's okay to pay somebody. It's okay to work with somebody. It's okay to pay somebody a few $100s to have them have a few conversations with you to help you along the way, because it just sets up your brand so much more professional, so much more legit. Even if you're like, dude, you know, I'm so busy with my other things going on right now, I'm not so into the music. If you protect your music right now and somebody happens to find one of your songs, or one of your songs starts to pick up some steam and somebody's using it in a film project, you can at least get paid for it properly without having to worry of like them stealing it or creating something very similar. And, you know, if somebody wants to create something similar to your unlicensed music and it's already out there on the web, you're never going to know about it. You're never going to know about it. You're just going to lose out. But for a few $100 up front, protecting yourself and really doing things legit, that's what can start generating the thousands of dollars and become something a lot more professional, because you're already in a position to receive money. You're in a position to give your song away without feeling emotionally attached, because you have all the proper paperwork in place. You know, that's part of it.
in this music world now, you know, you have to be prepared to be your own record label. But if you have someone like me who owns a music library and has distribution with multiple distribution companies, you know, and I take you on as an artist, then that's great. Then I'm going to be putting my time and my connections behind your music. So I'm going to be like, hey, George, I got this new artist. He is just top on his game. What do you think? You have any films that you could use their music in? Here's what they
just to explain the scope of when you say my connections, you know, there might be somebody sitting in Texas right now in Austin, there might be somebody in wherever, but you're actually connected with other musicians and other music people in Europe and Africa. I mean, international,
radio,
all over the world. I mean, there's musicians as part of your network. So even when you're talking to them or those film people in those regions, and there's a guy from Oregon, you have this person from Oregon in your mind, and you're talking to that person from Africa. That might be the song you pitch to them, so if it's part of your library.
Right. And I'm looking for new writers all the time for my library. Right now, we're not looking for a mass load of artists, because I don't want to be the new Reverb Nation. I don't want to be the next this, the next that. I want to look for quality songwriters that can produce their own music, and they want to take the time to educate themselves to do it. And I educate myself all the time. I paid Rusty Cooley $160 a month for 4 30-minute lessons a month. $160.
Fantastic investment.
For 2 hours a month. 2 hours a month he'd give me, right? If you look up this dude.
That's cheap, dude. That's cheap.
If you look up, and this was on Skype, and I was doing it on Skype. This guy lives in Texas, and I live in Oregon, right? La Grande, Oregon. He lives in Houston, Texas. And we're taking guitar lessons, and this guy is like the top on guitar, dude. They interviewed this guy in all different magazines. And, you know, I chose him.
You're able to hire him. You're able to work with the best of the best, and he's humble enough to do it because he's a creative, because he's an artist. He's helping our community grow.
And dude, there was times where he gave me more than a half an hour because he knew that I needed that a little bit of extra push, because he's willing to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's really great. Really great.
Now, if you were wanting to be a licensed songwriter, you want to learn more about licensed songwriting and how to do the whole production side, and you know, you can get a hold of me and I can help you out, or you can go to this company called Sync Academy, ran by this guy named Jesse, and he has millions of tutorials. He's got a lot of free stuff.
Sync Academy, they're awesome. Put your link there.
Yeah, I'll be putting the link to Sync Academy on here. I've been talked about them a few times in different videos and different podcasts that I've been doing. Yeah, Sync Academy is a great place to go there. You can, I believe they have a monthly fee of somewhere around like 40 to 30 bucks a month. They have licensed song opportunity. All right, I'm going to tell you about this. When you are being a licensed songwriter, you're going to have the whole world writing music and submitting the music into these opportunities, right? So you've got to learn to stand out and have the quality and put it out. So why am I not just copy pasting my beat and making that copy pasted beat 3 minutes long and having just the whole song? Because that's boring. We got to figure out where we're going to change that up. You got to figure out where all this is going to come in play. Because if you don't have that change up and you don't have it sounding quality, and the music supervisor like George is going to listen to that and go, dude, that's the same riff the whole 3 minutes. This is garbage. I'm not going to use it.
Well, that's just, it's a choice you must make as an artist. Always choose quality over time. If you're like, this has to be out tomorrow, do you have a million followers who are going to pay you for this thing tomorrow?
Right.
Do you have a Are you about to make $10,000 if this thing drops tomorrow? Or could you wait 4 weeks and perfect this thing and really, really juice the quality out of it and start to separate yourself in the industry, separate yourself in the market as, you know what, I'm seeing some growth here. This artist kind of had a cool style at the beginning, didn't like the quality, but now that past the freshman squad, we're getting into JV. It's been a couple years in the game. I'm hearing that quality tweak up. Producers, don't forget artists. We like who we like. We like styles we like. We just hope, like, sometimes we're like, damn, dude, I wish the quality on the song was better. And what we never do, film producers, we never reach back out to that music artist. We're like, hey, can you get that song and remix or remaster? Can you make that a little bit better? We're just like, we move on and find the next finished project that's already good.
Right.
Even if we love that song and we're like, fuck, dude, we could really, really use this. Like, this is the perfect one. What we do not do is we don't reach out to the music artist and be like, dude, can you make it better? Because we're like, hey, if this is where this person wanted to release that, that's the level they're at.
Right. And you got to move on to the next guy.
Now, if we look at a song and we're like, 2013 and it's 2019 and I click on another song from 2019 and production value is like way up, I'm gonna hit them up and be like, bro, let's talk, because what you had going on 5-6 years ago was already hot, and now I've seen such growth. I know you're gonna be able to achieve what we try to work on here. I know for sure, because you're not explaining anything to me. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing your growth by what you've left up there. You weren't embarrassed about the 2013 work because you knew there was some still creative value there. Even though your production value was not there, you knew that if anybody who had a brain looked at your 2019 work, they're going to see the production value has significantly stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
So even me as a video guy, I have iPhone shitty videos on YouTube from 2010. 10 years ago, people are like, they're not, somebody who's trying to hire me for a video today is not looking at them and be like, no, I'm not going to hire you because I saw that little iPhone video. You suck. I know I suck. That was 10 years ago with my iPhone. I had never shot a video before.
But you got it out there. That's what's up. You got it out. You took the time to get out there, and that's where you were not afraid, even though it was a little imperfect at the time. You put it out there. Don't.
That's what I try to explain to them. I'm like, that was my first step of a journey of 1,000 miles. And that was step number one.
The first song I put out on the music video with George, was it perfect, George? Was my song perfect?
Oh no, but it was fun.
It was fun and funny.
Dude, the only reason everybody wanted to do it is because it was so fun. We were like, dude, the reason we're filmmakers, the reason we're producers, directors, anything in the creative industry is because it's fun. You know, we don't do shit that's not fun. We don't want to do anything that's not fun. We have this one very, very short life. We want to have fun. And like when a song like that comes across with a budget, you're like, fuck yeah. And the guy with the song is you. It's like, dude, this is going to be fun. Everyone was just all in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, is like, the people working on the project they have to want to work on the project. Don't find a crew who's just doing it for the money. Don't work with those guys.
No, you got to have that connection. Well, it was great talking with you today, George, and I'm glad we got this opportunity to jump on here.
Let me hit one last thing before we get out of here. The brand logo. If you guys think about the Nike swoosh,
mm-hmm.
Call the swoosh. What the fuck is a swoosh? That's nothing. It's just a made-up thing. But everybody wants a Nike. Everybody wants to wear Nike. Air Jordans,
logo.
Michael Jordan has not played in a long time, and that's the logo I want to talk about, the Audio Star. Audio Star has a great logo. Audio Star has something that you can visually remember, recognize, and being part of the Audio Star family. This is an Audio Star production right here. This is an Audio Star video. It's about quality. It's about education. It's about music. It's about independent creatives making money, earning a sustainable living wage. And for your own brand, for your own logo, for your own music, you have to have something that people are going to recognize, something very simple, crispy, clean, couple of colors, just something. But with the Audio Star, it's always the star and then some text. sometimes it's with a different funky background, sometimes whatever, but it always has the big star and then has a text. So when I see it from far away, I always know, hey, that's the Audio Star thing. Even if it's on Facebook, I can notice an event posted. I know it's Audio Star. So create your brand, but through your brand, everyone's like, oh, tell your story. What the fuck does that mean? Tell your story. Your story is just, it's be authentic about who you are. Don't try to create this fake persona. And if you are going to create the character, it's not a fake persona. It's a real character, but it's just another character. You know, Marilyn Manson did it very, very well. When this guy does interviews, so intelligent. And don't fucking tell me he's not. The motherfucker is smart.
He's a smart guy.
Okay, but when you see Marilyn Manson, you're like, it creeps you out. You're scared of him. But that's the character Marilyn Manson, okay? I'm sure everybody knows of Mr. T. You guys know Mr. T, right?
Oh yeah, he's the character right there.
Bro, what does the T in Mr. T stand for? Nobody fucking knows, because it doesn't matter. His brand is Mr. T.
From the A-Team.
He pities the fool, and that's it. Okay, it's like that's what the brand is about. So when you're creating your own story and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna like create this facade. That facade better be a character that's a real character that you're willing to be in that character when you're out and about in public. If not, don't create that online facade, because that online facade has to meet real people. You're going to have to get out there and meet real people with that personality that you've created. So it's okay to create the personality, but you better be able to get into character if you're going to be out there. So if you're not going to do all that, then keep it really, really real. And just talk about who you are, where you've been from, you know, why should people care about you? Why do you do what you do? Why should people be interested in your journey? Why are you interested in people? Why are you interested in doing music for the world? Like, let's get to know you. If you're just like my new music, I don't give a fuck. Who the hell are you and who the hell's your music? Like, who are you? And why should I be interested in your journey enough to start saying, you know, I should care about your music, and then go check out your music? We're trying to build a solid fan base of people who really give a damn about you. So in the long run, when you get this 1,000 or 10,000 followers and you start asking them for money, hopefully that equals $1,000 or $10,000.
Right. Every one of those 1,000 fans paid $1 into donating for something or paying a subscription for something. That's $1,000.
Dude, I have a $100,000 education from colleges in Los Angeles. That's not just me talking right now. This is the wealth of knowledge that came from my professors, from the people who I worked with, and then all the experiences that I had. I was 7 years in Hollywood. I've paid over $8,000 in parking tickets in Los Angeles. So that's the type of investment that I've given into my film career. This is the type of knowledge that you're getting here on this video. And would a video like this on Patreon be worth $5 a month to support? Maybe.
You could go with that. You could go with that. You know,
it's a great education for an independent film artist to come here today and learn about the distro kid, Mondo Tunes, TuneCore, the Audio Star, the logo, you know, the Song Guard, the copyright. That's a lot of information.
Absolutely is a lot of information.
I mean, it will set you apart from every one of your local peers and competitors if you get on that level. And if all that stuff's too confusing, a little bit too much, contact Weston, talk to him, and for a couple of $100, you'll be heading right down the right path to take care of it.
Hey, you know what we do at AudioStarProductions.com? We even got videos on showing you how to do stuff.
How to, baby, DIY.
They're all up. They're all on our YouTube channels, our Facebook channels. But we are putting it in there on the collaboration area, and you can go in there on the collaboration tab. We got this right there in the menu bar. And George, say tomorrow he needs something and he wants to collaborate. He can go into collaboration and go, hey, I need music of this for my film. Here is this. If you are interested, I can send you the film so you can, that little short bit of see what you're writing to, so you can kind of have an idea, and boom. And then I answer back, hey, that's awesome. I love the idea. here's my email address.
It's a great resource.
That's what I've started up, so you can go there and you can sign up. You just got to register with your email address, so that way, and I'm not going to sell your email address, so when you register, it's going to, well, give me your email address, and then you have access to the website.
This is fantastic, man. We'll keep this going, and if this is helping anybody out there, please share this content.
Yes. It was great talking with you today, George. And next time we'll go over film scoring, because I brain farted and thought about that, but we'll go over film scoring in that one. And one thing that George talked about my scenery in here is what brought the room up is the lighting. I'm using a certain type of lighting. If you look at it, I got a light here, that back window you can't see, and another window over here, and we'll talk about that in a different video.
Look at this here is no light. Now I open the shades on the window with the natural lighting, and you'll see the significant difference. See how much better that is? Because it creates an edge right here, and it makes it more of a sharp.
And you got a shade on this side.
That's more interesting of a shot.
I got a shade over here. It's slightly. Now if I focus another light
this is gonna turn into a cinematography class. Cut. All right, bro. We'll see you next time.
See you, man. Talk to you later.